So it's only fitting that we come to you on Friday the 13th with Market Spook, investors freaking out. We're going to bring you some facts to help you fade those feelings. So it's Friday the 13th. The storms have hit the markets. Certainly investor sentiment is in the midst of a storm. That's why we're shooting from my office this week. For times like this, as well as other times in life, is why I've got this picture hanging behind me. Smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. I've been thinking about Marcus Aurelius's similar type quote, to be like a rock while the waves keep crashing over you. It stands unmoved while the seas rage around it. And so, again, that's certainly been my mindset this week. It's what I want your mindset to be, which is, yes, the storm is raging. We need to be like a rock. We need to be strong. We need to not give in to those emotions, knowing, again, storms past, waves recede, and this time won't be any different. So what is going on this week, and really, where are we? What can we expect? Number one is fear is palpable. So if it's within you, that's completely natural. If you're sensing it, be it the news, your friends, it's very, very real. In fact, investor sentiment right now is about as bad as it's literally ever been. We're at levels we haven't seen since post 9/11. We're at levels we haven't seen since the depths of the '08 crisis, all of which, quite frankly, is a little bit ridiculous. We told you in January we thought some steam had to come out, but the levels of panic that we're at right now, probably a bit too far. In fact, bullish sentiment right now is just in the second percentile that it's been in. The bull-bear spread is at a -40. That's only happened 7 times in modern history. And again, all within an environment of negative real rates and a challenging environment in that respect, which again simply means interest rates minus inflation is got investors backed into a corner. So point number 2, what can we expect in an environment like this when it feels so bad? Is there any hope? Well, again, if you go back to the research put out by Bespoke, one of the best in the business at that, looking at those periods, here's what you find. The median return for the S&P over the next 12 months when you hit this level of bearishness is positive 23.24. In fact, all 6 and 12-month timeframes outside of a few within 2008 are positive, and all those 12-month returns are actually 20% or more. Again, fear and greed index this week hit a 6. The last time I remember, Matt and I were shooting in our old offices December, right before Christmas Eve of 2018. It was at a 4. It hit a 4 during the COVID crash of 20. And so, yeah, fear can certainly go a little bit deeper, but we are plumbing the depths, almost always seen somewhere near a market bottom. I mentioned negative real rates a little bit earlier. If you go to the written commentary on our website, if you're catching this on LinkedIn, if it's in the video, just scroll down on your email. You'll see that that piece done by the George Mason prof shows that, again, if you give things a couple years, stocks and bonds have posted solid returns even in this kind of a challenged environment with inflation in rates. So what is the issue then facing? Well, you've got China, you've got Russia, and you've got inflation/interest rates. Why, again, is there hope outside of those statistical numbers? Well, it really comes back to relative expectations. I think one of the things that confuses investors, understandably, is that less bad can be good. It's all about rates of change. Again, it's all about relative expectations, and are things better than expected? And as that sentiment up above suggests, right now expectations are about as bad as they can get. When people talk China, they talk about them never opening again. And if you look at the markets pop today, in just a few hours between yesterday and today, almost a 5% move, which again shows how violently to the upside markets can move in a positive direction, coming on the news that China might open on May 20th. When people are talking about Russia, they're using words like nuclear war and World War III. We certainly hope for a peaceful end to that soon, but again, those are low probabilities. Those are those, again, to paraphrase the title of this, dark regions of our imaginations, as opposed to just simply an unknown for the market. And with rates and inflation, a lot of reason to think inflation's going to abate. Energy prices have doubled over the last 12 months. They are the thing moving those inflation rates. 25% directly, probably another 10 to 15 indirectly, just in throughput costs. If that comes out, and it almost certainly has to here soon, because energy prices can't double again, you're going to see that inflation number come down. And you saw Jerome Powell this week, as well as some other Fed chairs, say, hey, if inflation comes down quicker than we expect, we're prepared to lessen the path. We still think, and we told you this in January, this is how 2022 is most likely, not guaranteed, but most likely to be written, which is initial freak out, inflation abates, Fed expectations ease, market resumes, again, a healthy rally. Wrapping some things up, the question we get then is, what do we do now? And of course, I got that question as markets were plumbing new bottoms this week. The answer is we already did it. The time to make a move is never in the midst of the storm. That's the time, as the quote above says, to stand like a rock, to be steady. If you're a client, particularly a client of the high income series, we were raising cash in January. We told you, we think here are some things that could play out. Here's our response, and we gave you the levels we thought the market could hit, 4,200 and 4,000 to be exact, and this is what we're gonna do when it does, and we did it. And so, does that mean we called it? No. Does that mean we have a crystal ball? Absolutely not. It means we're process-oriented, we're going to be disciplined, we're going to be people who sell high and buy low. For those of you who look to Buffett, while many people were panicking in the lows of February, about the time we redeployed one half of our capital, he was buying $41 billion. He's got a little bit more money than we do. $41 billion of his capital back into markets. If you look to the studies from Bespoke and the Wall Street Journal, and part of you is saying, okay, that's great that this is going to happen a year from now or 2 years from now, but I don't have that kind of time. I would tell you if you're a client here, you do, because we've built a plan and a process taking into account your time and or how to buy you time, and that really is about producing a high level of income. Not only have those moves enabled us, I think, to better position clients in general, those moves within the high income series helped us actually increase the income we can pay clients. If you've got that income again is going to buy you time. What we can do right now is remember how to get better. Are you somebody who panicked in the Christmas Eve crash of 2018 or forced sells in 2020? If you are, you undoubtedly looked back in hindsight and said, man, I let my emotions get the better of me. There's no shame in that. We've all had those moments, but it is a time to learn and to grow and to remember that, again, those storm waters do in fact recede. On the other end of the spectrum, were you too aggressively positioned coming into 2022? Talked to a lot of recent people who are going to be soon to be retirees or just retired. He said, I just need the market to give me something else. The market's timing is not your timing. And I have no doubt that a lot of those people are regretting maybe not getting into a little bit more defensive income-oriented position before this market crashed. But with that, we can look at our inputs, we can look at our partners, we can ask what's our process and ask, is it working? Is it sound? And so while I'm not happy with the current market conditions, I'm very happy with our process. I'm very proud of our team for sticking to our discipline, and I know clients are going to be in a better position for it. In closing, markets aren't broken. Investor sentiment is what's broken. And a thing I've been telling people this week is trying to avoid the next 5% of pain is inevitable. I don't know if the market's at the bottom, stocks or bonds. You may have 5% more volatility to go through. I can almost guarantee you if you're in cash, you're going to have 5% pain in the form of lost purchasing power. And so then the choice is yours, not to avoid 5% of pain, but is it something that's going to be temporary, or is it something that's going to be permanent for you and your family in your financial fortunes? A sound understanding of the past tells you that time will make things right. And a sound process and plan means that you'll have that time. With that, thank you so much for joining. As always, we're here for you if you need to reach out.